Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome back to another video. In this video we will discuss about the z-test, but in this video we have a special case that to test the z-test when the variance is known. In the previous two video we have test the z-test, but in the previous video the standard deviation given but the variance is not given. But in this case, in this question, basically the variance is given but the standard deviation is unknown. So let's start today question. The question is basically that suppose you are a researcher studying the average time spent on a particular activity by a group of people. You have collected a sample of times in minutes from this group, and you want to determine the average time in your sample is less than a claimed population mean of 30 minutes. In this question, the basically given data is the sample mean is 25 minutes, sample size is 10, and the population variance is basically the 16 minutes, and here the given a significance level of 0.05. But in this question we need to focus on this line that the sample is less than a claimed population mean of 30 minutes. Mean according to this line we have to formulate our hypothesis that the basically our alternate hypothesis should be like with that the mean population mean is less than 30, means the mean age of the population is basically so here they calculated basically our less than 30 years. So this is basically that the mean of population is basically the 30 year, but in the alternate hypothesis the mean of the population is less than 30 year. So when the next move to the second step, but before starting this second step we will define our here the given data, that is basically the sample mean that is basically of 25 minutes, and then the sample size which is basically the 10, and then the population variance is given in this question that I have already discussed. But it's also one tail test, but in this question basically the standard variance is known, but variance is known. Okay. So in this question basically the variance is known but the standard deviation is unknown. In this question we will use the library which is teaching demos. So this is our the given data, and in this case we need to calculate the standard deviation. So because the variance is given, so in order to calculate the standard deviation we need here a very function that is basically we can you know that to in order to calculate the standard deviation, basically the square root of variance is basically the standard deviation. So here we will take a square root of the variance. So the value is which is given to us is basically the standard deviation. So in this way you can calculate the standard deviation if it is not given in the question and the population variance is given in the question, just by taking the square root of the variance. So I hope you will get this point. So next the step is basically the step 1, which is basically the formulate hypothesis that I already discussed. Then the step 2, which is basically the significance level. In this question basically the significance level is given is basically 0.05. But next step is step 3, which is test statistics. As you know that in this case basically we will use the z-test, and now for the computation first of all we will create a variable of z-test result, and then to apply a function of z-test. Here we will first we will write here our sample mean Then to write about the population mean, which is basically denoted by the mu. So the population mean is written, and then we need to discuss about the standard deviation by using the function standard dev, and then we will write here the population standard deviation, which is calculated by using the variance. So after this, we also need to discuss about the n, that is basically the total number of values, that is in this case is total number of value is basically the sample size, which is basically 10. Then we also need to discuss about the alternative. As I've already discussed in the previous video, that alternative should be described on the basis of our alternate hypothesis. If it is greater than 30, then we will write here the greater, but in this case this is basically the less than 30, so we should write here the less. So this is all about the computation. Now we will run this code with the help of print this value z test result. So after running this code, you can see the output. So here this is our output. That is basically the one sample z test. In this, the p value is basically 3.885 t. Basically in this, as I've already discussed in the previous video, that our main concern is about the p value. If the p value is greater than our significance level, then we will accept our null hypothesis. But if the p value is less than our significance value, then we reject our null hypothesis. So in this case, the p value is greater than the 0.05, so we'll accept the null hypothesis. So for interpretation, we should run this code that I've already created. So here you can see that the main conclusion, to write about the conclusion, that is basically as the p value is less than 0.05, so we'll reject the null hypothesis. So in this case, basically the p value is less than 0.05. Yes, because this is the value, this is basically the less than 0.05, just because of the then 10 raised to power -7, which means that the basically this value is less than 0.05. So that's why we will reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternate hypothesis, that the true mean is less than 50. This is our alternate hypothesis, that the true mean is less than 50. So we'll accept the alternate hypothesis rather than to accept the null hypothesis. So this is all about the standard basically the z test, that when the variance is known and the standard deviation is not given. So I hope this video is very helpful for all of you. If you have any question related to this, please comment us and subscribe my channel, and also press the bell icon button. Allah Hafiz.